Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Hey, we're back on the channel, man. We got an abandoned car leads cops to killer's murder cabin. That title alone was a little deep, right? I think so. Hey, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
Yeah.
Deputies are searching the abandoned car of a missing 22-year-old mother of three, alone on a remote mountain road, miles from anyone. Then, mid-search, a disturbing call cuts across the radio.
911, what is your emergency?
I just pulled the Ranger up here to get my stuff unloaded, and I come in and see the whole living room in a disarray, really torn up. And then I see his body laying over there by the couch. They're face down, the body is cold, it's not moving.
That single call would set three things in motion. A homicide investigation into the brutal scene found inside a nearby cabin, a desperate search for the missing young mother, and a manhunt for the man responsible.
I came up here and I got jumped by some people and they took my keys and I don't know where I'm at.
I don't know if it was just a gut feeling, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know. But he was crazy.
Little did investigators know the man that they were hunting wasn't running at all. He was still up on that mountain, walking among them as if nothing had happened. On a cold winter afternoon on March 7th, 2021, Gunnison County Dispatch received a call about an abandoned vehicle on a remote stretch of Alpine Plateau Road in Colorado. As deputies made their way up the snow-covered trail to locate the car, they believed that they were responding to a routine call for service. At first glance, it looked like a typical four-door sedan that had become stuck while attempting to make its way up the snowy road. But deputies immediately found two odd things. The vehicle was completely empty, and the driver was not the person who had called for help. But just as deputies are trying to figure out what may have happened, dispatch receives another call from a nearby cabin that completely changes the direction of what had seemed like a straightforward stranded vehicle call.
911, what is your emergency?
I haven't been here for a week, and I come in and see the whole living room in a disarray, really torn up. And then I see his body laying over there by the couch. I have no idea. They're face down, the body is cold, it's not moving.
Okay, and they're cold to the touch?
Yes.
As deputies urgently rush to the cabin, they are confronted with a distressing scene. But as they begin piecing together what happened, they will make a connection between the abandoned car and the cabin that will immediately put them on edge.
Yeah, bathroom into the bedroom. Okay, I'm coming through the bathroom now. I'm clear back here. I got a hallway that goes down behind the stairs. I'm gonna push up. I think it comes out on your side.
One of the first pieces of evidence that officers find inside the cabin is a set of keys, one of which belongs to the abandoned car outside. As they search the vehicle, they discover that it's registered to 22-year-old Anna Rascone. But what they do not yet know is that on the other side of town, Anna's family is already growing increasingly anxious about where she is. Born in Grand Junction, Colorado, Anna spent much of her childhood between Colorado and her mother's home in Sonora, Mexico. At just 17, Anna became a mother, and raising her children became the center of her life. Struggling financially as a single mother, Anna fell behind on bills and battled mental health problems. Realizing she needed help, she made the heartbreaking decision to send her children to Mexico to stay with her mother while she tried to rebuild her life. Then, On Friday, March 5th, 2021, just 2 days before officers found her abandoned car, Anna planned to drive to Sonora to bring her children home. But by Sunday, her phone had gone silent, and her family knew something was terribly wrong. While her family desperately shared posts across social media in hopes of finding her, investigators in Arrowhead have made a disturbing discovery.
Downstairs, by the garage. We can look at it. It's laying out partially.
Did you see the deceased person?
This on the other side of the couch here.
Did they break into the cabin? Because it sounds like this is somebody else's cabin.
Yeah.
And could it possibly be the car got stuck or something, and then they went up and just found a random abandoned? It's because it's not abandoned. You know what I'm saying? It's still, but nobody's at home, so I need
Here for something. It's dying. Is it?
That's weird.
She's got some major trauma, looks like, to the head there.
Major trauma to the head.
Yeah.
Did you see a pair of shoes by the door?
She got on
Just socks. So I don't know where. I think he said over here. There's a cell phone. Okay. He doesn't know if it's one of the homeowners' old phones. Doesn't look like that might be blood.
Looking at the body, it's difficult for officers to determine the extent of the injuries because of the large amount of blood surrounding it. But they could immediately tell that the victim had suffered multiple injuries to the head. The rest of the scene suggested that a violent struggle had taken place. The living room was in complete disarray. A bottle of lighter fluid sat on the counter, and the coffee table was still smoldering. It appeared that someone had either tried to start a fire or had intended to. But as investigators continued searching the cabin, they came across a receipt, unaware that it would become one of the key pieces of evidence in uncovering what had happened inside.
Okay, here's a receipt from Rifle Walmart from the 5th. But then all these keys, this one says cabin front door and stuff, so I wonder if maybe they found some of her stuff.
Could be. Was there a name on that receipt? Or
There's other stuff here.
yeah, I just did not touch anything yet.
I might try and snag a little better shot of her, but I won't. Sure.
Yeah.
As investigators examined the body more closely, they were taken aback by the extent of the victim's injuries. The victim was a woman who had been brutally bludgeoned across the face and head. One of her arms was badly broken, and several large puncture wounds covered the back of her neck. It was immediately clear that she had endured a horrifying attack. Nearby, investigators found what appeared to be an antique ice pickaxe. They quickly determined that it was the murder weapon and that it belonged to the residence. Old photographs of the cabin later confirmed that it had once been hanging on the wall above the doorway. Unfortunately, using law enforcement databases, investigators confirmed that the victim was 22-year-old Anna Rascone. As Anna's family and children grappled with the devastating news of her death, investigators continued processing the scene. Outside the cabin, the snow revealed even more evidence. Footprints leading to and from the property. The investigators' initial assessment was that 2 people had broken into the cabin for reasons still unknown. They presumed that one of them was Anna, but had no idea who the second individual was, or why either of them had been there. But as they began speaking with witnesses, they were about to discover that a part of their theory was entirely wrong. In the days that followed, interviews with witnesses, business owners, and neighbors on the mountain revealed that Anna had been seen with an unidentified man near her car early Saturday morning, just one day before the disturbing discovery.
What time did you work Saturday? Remember? I was supposed to be here at 2 or 3, and I lost my keys, and so Roger, my mom's boyfriend, ended up giving me a ride up here. Okay. And as we were driving up, we seen the Acura crashed on the side of the road or whatever. Okay. And then a few miles up the road, we seen the Mexican kid walking up the road, and you could tell he was kind of out of place. And we pulled up to see if that was his car, if he needed to jump or like need help or whatever. And when I asked him, I was like, is that your car down there? He's like, no, that's not my car. And then he's like, where are we at? Like, I was like, you need help? Like, it was just super strange. And then I was like, are you sure that's not your car? He's like, yeah, that is my car. I came up here and I got jumped by some people, and they took my keys, and I don't know where I'm at. And I was like, well, we're heading up here to the lodge. We could give you a ride to the lodge, and you can use their phone. And you could tell he's like, there's a lodge. Oh, there's a lodge. And that kind of shocked him. And then I had to get up to come to work. And so me and Robert just came up, and Robert told the kid that, well, I can give you a ride back down to the highway if you need. And then, so yeah, we came up. And then I guess Roger, my mom and Roger came and we bumped here and picked up my mom. And then on the way back down, they picked him up and gave him a ride to the highway. Okay.
Do you know what time it was roughly when they left here, your mom and Roger?
Probably, they ate and chilled for a good hour, I would say, hour and a half. And you guys were about 3, you think? I think, yes.
Between 2 and 3, roughly, just because that's me at work?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember what this guy was wearing?
He was wearing like a plaid shirt, like a flannel kind of shirt. And it looked like his top line was kind of unbuttoned. You could see like tattoos. Maybe some piercings, maybe.
There was this guy walking down the road, which is odd, up here. And he had a water bottle, and I stopped and said, what are you doing? Are you out for a stroll? And he said, yeah, I'm lost. And I said, well, how'd you get here? And he says, I don't know. And I looked, there were no footprints on either side of the road, so I didn't know. Do you have a car? He said no. I said, do you have a phone? No. And I said, well, were you at the lodge? And he said, yeah, I might have been at the lodge. And I said, are you drunk? Because he was acting weird.
Huh?
And he said, yeah, I might have been drunk. And then I said, okay. So I just drove off. And he was still talking when I drove off. And I came up and called security. And they said, there's a weird guy on the road. That's all I have to offer you.
As witness descriptions of the man began lining up, investigators tracked down 2 people who had given him a ride from the mountain. But what the pair shared raised several red flags and completely changed the way that investigators had been looking at the case.
So I guess where did he touch the car? Where did he jump in?
The only place I know of that he touched was somewhere on the tailgate here.
Somewhere on the tailgate? And then did you remember what side of the truck he sat on?
In this corner
Right here. Hopped out the back when you got into the road?
Yep.
Okay. That'll work if you want to let.
I'll let him know.
Let him know on what we're looking at.
Let me pull it forward so you get a little more room to work back here.
I think that'll work. I don't think it'll be an issue. Yeah.
I just remember, 100% remember, without a shadow of a doubt, we picked up that crazy kid in the back of the truck.
Okay.
And he was crazy. And 100% know that.
Do you remember what day and approximate time that was?
It was on a Saturday, I believe. And I've been.
Kid, can you describe what you mean by it was crazy?
He was walking in the middle of the road, and I guess that doesn't make him crazy, but it was the way he was acting, and when he turned around and he just, it was, I don't know if it was just a gut feeling, I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know. But he was crazy.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
I remember big baggy blue pants.
Okay.
And I remember a big jacket, and he was just kind of flipping a water.
Do you remember anything specific, anything at all, facial details?
I just remembered he had that tattoo on his neck.
Do you remember what side? Just that was on his neck?
I know it was on his right side. It would have been his right side.
His right side? Okay.
I couldn't tell you what it is.
Okay.
I just saw a tattoo, and I think that's what I thought. So
jumps in the back of the truck, and then what happened?
then we went down to the highway. He jumped out and came to my side of the door, and I said, well, so what are you going to do? And he goes, oh, no, I guess go to Grand Junction. And we go, well, Grand Junction's that way.
Okay.
And the weird thing is that I stopped. When we let him out, I looked back, and I was watching him. I said, Roger, he acts like he's going back up the Alpine. We didn't see that because we came here. But it was strange.
Do you remember him saying anything when you guys picked him up? Did he say anything to you guys?
Roger asked him, is that your car? And he said no.
We're going to pick Melinda up, and we met this Hispanic kid on the road. He was, guessing about 3/4 of a mile away from the lodge, north of the lodge. Heading towards the lodge.
Yep. So he was walking up to the lodge?
Yes.
So you saw him when you were taking Bill to work?
Yes.
Okay.
And we stopped and, because we'd seen that little black car on the side of the road down there. It looked like it was stuck, and asked him if it was his car or if he was with that car. And he said, no. They didn't have nothing to do with that car.
Okay.
So we asked him, you want to ride up to the lodge to make some phone calls or something? He said, no, I don't have no numbers.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? I'm trying to get to Grand Junction. Well, you're going the wrong way to get to Grand Junction. So then, I can give you a ride down to the highway after I drop Bill off.
Okay.
We just kind of, and just headed off back down the road towards the highway.
Based on these witness accounts, the unidentified man quickly became the prime suspect in Anna's murder. It was clear that Anna knew him. But what had transpired inside the cabin that led to such a brutal killing remained a mystery.
What can you tell me about that morning?
Well, I came up about noon in my Ranger.
Yeah.
And when I drove up, first thing I saw was my big garage door open to the snowmobiles.
Okay.
And I said, okay, Sue usually watches that, doesn't have those open when she leaves, because she left Friday about 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, and then, so when I got up there, and I wasn't paying attention at that time to foot tracks, I'm just sort of looking around, so then I backed up, or drove in and backed up to my deck from the backside, went in there, and as I'm approaching, I can see the window through the doors, all kinds of debris laying there. I said, what in the hell? So
and that's that kind of
double
glass
doors,
door.
the double doors on each side,
Okay.
So when I got there, I'm opening the door, and as I open it, I'm going to get about 2 foot. That big table glass is there, and the chair's in the way.
Yep.
So I had to push it a little bit. And this the other thing, I kept my sunglasses on too as I went in. I didn't take them off. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. The cabin's really dark. And then as I went in, I'm looking around, see all this debris around the table and stuff. And then I go to look into the kitchen. I see stuff on the floor there. And I said, okay, I got to turn some lights on and see what the heck's going on. First thing I'm thinking, no, animal get in here? That's when I said, sure ain't bear. I'm just mountain lion. But I'm thinking, this doesn't look normal. So when I went to the post, turned all the lights on for that vicinity and looked to my left, that's when I saw the body laying there.
Okay.
And it's just over the couch. You can see it from there. So I looked and I said, okay. So I walked up to it and took my glove off, and I felt the back of her back with the back of my hand.
Okay.
And it was ice cold because it was stiffer than a cow. Okay. And I said, okay, that's bad. So that's when I directly called 911.
With only a description of the suspect, no image of him, and no apparent motive, investigators turned their attention back to Anna's car, hoping that it held the answers. And something inside the vehicle was about to give them their first real look at the mystery man. During their search of the car, investigators found several Walmart receipts from Rifle, Colorado. Agents with the CBI used the timestamps on those receipts to obtain surveillance footage from the store. But what they didn't expect was to see a familiar face standing beside Anna. The footage showed Anna walking through the store with an unidentified man. He was wearing the same jacket and pants that witnesses had described seeing on the mountain. But more importantly, he was wearing a distinctive baseball cap, the very same cap that investigators had found inside Anna's car. This was 23-year-old Jorge Solis, a local known around the area for petty arrests and a long-running drug habit. But this was no stranger who had crossed Anna's path by chance. The two had moved in the same circles and used together. And the man walking beside her through that Walmart was someone that she knew well enough to get in a car with. The Walmart footage became a crucial piece of evidence. It not only linked Jorge to Anna, but it also tied him to her car, making him the last known person seen with her. But despite this major breakthrough, investigators were still left with one critical question. How had a trip to Walmart ended with Anna's brutal murder? And despite finally identifying their prime suspect, the trail soon went cold. In a desperate effort to track Jorge down, investigators began interviewing people who knew Anna. But what they uncovered painted a disturbing glimpse into the man they were searching for.
Because we have this picture that you ID'd for me. Tell me about this guy. He's a friend of hers, or what?
I really don't know him. I just know that he's bad news. Like, that's what I've been hearing from everybody.
Because we were told, they're together looking happy, so.
He's supposedly, this is what I've been hearing, because I've been asking everybody around, I was like, hey, who's Jorge? Hey, who's Jorge?
Now, why are you asking about Jorge?
Just because, because Genesis, she was like, well, he's bad news. And so, I figured, because he's from Rifle. And so I asked, all my friends, I was like, hey, do you know who this guy is? And they're like, he's not a good person.
Okay. So everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, everybody, it takes, two sides to, not like a person.
How do you know him?
I've just heard of him. I don't know him personally. I've seen him with her, but I don't know him on, a personal level. Okay. I just know his face. I know all his neck tattoos. I know his name, and that's it.
Where's he work? Do you know where he works? How do I find
no idea. I have no idea. No idea to talk to her. She texted me the 24th, and that was the last time I ever talked to her.
24th
from a different number again.
Okay. So you had this conversation, you left, and everything is better.
I never talked to her again. I just left the house. Yeah, but there was no
no fight.
Yeah, no, nothing. If I were to see her, I would,
You wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were not mad at each other. Nothing. We didn't argue. I don't know. And so she texted me the 24th from a different number.
Okay.
And she said, if you really care about me and my kids, make it stop. It's not their fault. And I answered, and I was like, wrong number. Because, I didn't know the number. And she was like, this is where it's just weird. She was just like, quit acting stupid. She's like, and tell your friend, George Solis, to not step foot in my house again. I haven't talked to her since the last time that I had met up with her, which was 2 weeks,
Okay. The 24th is the last time you actually talked to her, but you said that you saw her at Walmart. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then you haven't seen her since? Okay. Have you seen Jorge since?
No.
So when I got off work, I made it home probably about 5-ish Friday. Okay. And I came down and knocked on her door, and I can tell she was high at that time. So she was talking to me, and when they told me she was going to move upstairs, on our second floor in the front of the building, she said she really didn't need my storage. She said she might if some of her stuff don't fit in there. So I was like, okay, fine. But as I was talking to her, there was a younger gentleman that I've seen in our hallway before that I have kicked out, because people come to me in that complex, because they know I don't buy the bull crap. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I see somebody sleeping in the hallway or just hiding in our hallway or something, I'm like, dude, you got to get up out of here.
Oh, if they don't live there and stuff. That's good.
So a couple times I seen the young man there and kicked him out of the hallway and told him, you got to go, you know what I'm saying? And so when I was talking to her Friday, I seen the gentleman like back in her bathroom area. So I said he was talking to her. So we're facing each other at first, and there's a wall right here. So
you and Anna were facing each other?
Yeah, we're facing each other, so I can see into her house. That's how I see the gentleman in the back behind her, the light in the back bathroom. So when I was talking to her, so I ended up just like leaning on the wall like this, and I was talking to her like kind of sideways, and I can't remember what exactly I did. I can't remember if I looked this way towards the door or somebody came in or something. And by the time I looked back, the gentleman was like right here.
Oh.
And I had to tell him, like, I had asked her, like, who is this? She's like, oh, that's my friend. He's okay. I'm like, all right, but why is he walking up on me like this? Because, like, it wasn't no, hey, how you doing stance. He had that stance like he had a problem. I'm looking at him like, dude, don't walk up on me like this, dude. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you need to back up. And she stepped outside to, you know what I'm saying, to basically move out the way. And he's like, oh, I'm just making sure she's okay. I was like, dude, she's talking to me. She's fine. I said, you need to go do something else. And he's still standing there. I said, and I literally told him, like, dude, you need to back up before I beat your ass. Mm-hmm. You know? And he looked at me and he looked at her and she's like, I'm fine. You know, so she's like, I'm fine. And he looks at me. I was like, dude, me and her talk a little more. And I told her, like, if she need any help, need anything, just let me know, call me. Mm-hmm. She was like, okay. And that's like that's the last conversation I had with her.
And the guy on Friday, was that Padres or is that someone else?
It was somebody. He had a tattoo on his neck.
Okay.
I think Destiny said it was George or something. I can't remember what his name was.
On March 17th, 2021, 10 days after the murder, just as investigators alerted all neighboring police departments in the area to look out for Jorge, a member of the public called the police about a man who was acting suspiciously at around the same time.
Hey, what's going on? Can you talk to me? Can you come talk to me, sir? How you doing this morning? Don't reach in your pockets or anything, okay? What's your name, man? What are you doing up here?
Looking for my phone.
Okay. What's your name? Can you put the rocks down for me? What was your name again?
I told you, dog.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Jay? Hey, how do you spell that? J-A-Y? What's your last name?
I got there my last name, though.
Okay, so we've had a few calls about you this morning. Yeah, people are seeing you on their property in the neighborhood, kind of hanging out, doing weird stuff. So,
like what kind of weird stuff?
I don't know, hanging out by their property in the neighborhood. Do you live around here?
But this officer is not convinced that he's being perfectly honest with him.
Just put your hands back here, okay? You're not under arrest right now. I'm just going to check you for weapons, okay? Can you step apart for me? I can't hear you.
Jay Santos.
Jay Santos?
Yeah.
Is Jay your actual legal name, or is it?
It's not.
What?
What?
Is Jay your legal name, or is it something else?
Okay,
Okay, so what's your legal name?
George.
George? How do you spell that?
J-O-R-G-E.
J-O-R-G-E?
Yeah.
Like Jorge?
One of the officers at the department remembered reading the bulletin about the homicide suspect and immediately recognized Jorge.
Okay. All right, man, so you're under arrest. You've got warrants. I'm sure you knew that.
That's my warrant on.
Well, there's a few of them. We'll explain and take them out of my car.
That crime scene had so much blood, but I know he had a jacket on, or could he possibly have swapped clothes?
Mm-hmm. Maybe he had like some extra clothes.
Or got clothes after, because they
At the
live
car.
there. Know what I'm saying? Out the house.
At the house.
Yeah. At the people's house.
Because
They
you
broke
remember
into
the
their house.
younger guy, the couple son.
Yeah.
She was like when he had on a flannel.
Yeah.
But then they was like he had on like a jacket.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know. Yeah.
I don't tell.
What?
Like
Can you grab his
Wonder
bag?
Inside Jorge's backpack, police found several items that unquestionably came from inside the cabin. When officers contacted the cabin owner, he confirmed that the items had previously been stored in the basement. Investigators also recovered Jorge's fingerprint from a bottle inside the cabin. By now, they were convinced that Jorge had killed Anna. But one crucial question still remained. Why? As CBI agents arrived to interview Jorge, they knew that everything hinged on this conversation. The man that they were about to sit across from had beaten a young mother to death and then had walked back out into the open and made small talk as if nothing had happened. Whatever this was, it wasn't panic. The physical evidence strongly tied him to the scene, but investigators still needed the one thing that it couldn't give them. Why?
The motive.
Without his account, the motive would stay buried, and Jorge could walk away with a far more lenient sentence. But as the interview began, they quickly realized that getting to the truth would be far harder than they'd anticipated.
But it's daylight by then a little bit, you said. Okay, so you just walked to that house? That makes sense, man. I get it. You're not the first person who, in a cold, snowy area, borrowed somebody's house for a little bit to lay up for a while to warm up and stuff. That happens all the time. Okay? But something in that house, man, something went crazy between you two. So do you know what happened and you just don't want to tell me?
I mean, do you know what happened? Like, you know, do you know like what happened?
No.
I felt like it was a setup and shit.
Talk me through that, man. I understand it. But you picked the house that you were walking to.
Like, that's what you got to do too, huh?
What do you mean by
people sacrifice, right?
Okay, you're not saying Anna was sacrificed. No.
That could have been me.
What could have been you?
Sacrificed.
Well, you think you could have been the one that was killed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jorge spins a bizarre theory that Anna was working for the police, that he was being set up, and that she needed to be sacrificed. Given the amount of drugs found in Anna's system during the autopsy, investigators knew that the two had been using substances together, and they suspect that these delusional beliefs may have been fueled by Jorge's intoxicated state.
So what more points do you want? Like,
I want to know what caused you to kill Anna.
What caused me?
Yeah. Over the sweepers. That's what I want to know. Here we go.
It's just, I don't know, I just felt like something needed to be done.
Why?
I don't know, like.
I thought you guys were tight, man.
I'm very mad, though. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, like, the types of things that I believe in, types of shit that I praise to.
It's not a secret to you. We don't know why that happened.
I don't know either.
Well, we think you do, and that's what you don't want to tell us. But as of now, it's just going to stay as, I don't know why I killed her. I just killed her. That's how you want it to. That's how you want it to be.
I felt like somebody, like, cursed me or something. That got into my body and shit.
What strikes the detectives is that Jorge seems to accept that he killed Anna. But instead of trying to piece together a believable explanation, he's making little effort to tell a story that fits the evidence.
Was just a mindset you had that caused you just to.
Sometimes you got. Yeah.
Or maybe he just don't know why he did it. He just did it. That could be a possibility. He's like, I just acted on it.
Can't do it.
Did you tell her what you were gonna do?
No, I didn't know. I didn't even know I was gonna do that shit that day.
Okay.
What's that on your neck? What's that tattoo? Can't see it.
Like shit.
So when you started that night, when you decided, okay, this just has to be done, did you warn her or anything, or you just started?
You started, bro.
Okay.
Just really know.
Did you just start with your hands, or did you start with a weapon?
I think he's a beater.
You don't want to answer that one?
Action. Finish the job up.
All right.
Jorge Solis made a conscious decision to end Ana Rascon's life. Investigators knew from the crime scene that Ana had fought desperately to survive. The cabin had been torn apart by the violence. But within hours of killing her, Jorge was casually talking to witnesses and people on the mountain as though nothing had happened. Because Jorge admitted to killing Ana, he'd never disputed his involvement, and the physical evidence overwhelmingly supported the case against him. Investigators had everything that they needed to charge him with her murder. On March 3rd, 2023, 2 years after Ana's murder, Jorge Solis was sentenced to 42 years in prison as part of a plea agreement.
Nigga.
But despite his sentence, no amount of justice can ever replace what Ana's children lost. Their mother.
Plea agreement. Plea agreement. Plea agreement. Plea agreement. Plea agreement.
Just to say we got justice. Y'all ain't getting no fucking
rest
justice.
in peace to Ana. Facts.
40-something years, bro. That is crazy.
But okay.
Hey man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comments down below. I'm at loss for words, bro. It don't make sense.
Nope, not at all.
It don't make sense at all, bro. Like, why? I do got my theories, but without anything, it's nothing to back up my theories though. Mm-hmm. So I do think there was a fight between the two, but I wonder why the car. I believe they probably had car trouble. Got out the car, was seeking shelter. Mm-hmm. That's why they broke into the home. Mm-hmm. And whatever happened then happened, and we would never know.
We'll never know.
Because the car did look like it broke down, stranded. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it was traction with the snow, because it was heavy snow. So I don't know anything could have happened, but for them to get out the car and leave the car where it was. We don't even have the answers to that.
Don't have the answers to that, for sure. Like, I mean, it may be like somewhere you have to read in depth, but just from this we don't. But you have to find more information. But yeah, that's the only logical thing I could think of. Car broke down and need to seek shelter somewhere.
And some went down in the house that we just.
But I'm also wondering, I don't know which way the lodge is. Is the lodge from when y'all came in, or would the lodge be more up from where the car was facing?
It looked like it was going upwards.
Oh, okay.
It looked like it was going upwards. So.
So I wonder where the cabin is. Is the cabin that way, or is the cabin back another way? Because
it probably could have been in that late at night on that Friday. Mm-hmm. That Friday night.
I'm just wondering, did y'all ever see the lodge to go in there and seek shelter and call?
But also,
for help?
Most of the time, the lodges don't be open 24/7 either, too. So.
Yeah,
and they said it was he was like 3/4 away from the lodge. So the lodge they probably didn't even know the lodge was even nearby.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But hey man, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comments down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ No Kid. That's it.
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
We out. Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me